Hey, it's me. So obviously, what do you think I'm doing? I'm reading a book. It's called Blood Over Bright Haven, and this is my current read. God bless. Sorry for looking a bit insane. What was that? I have my feet up on the heater because I'm freezing, and there's no hot water right now over here. So I'm struggling a little bit. I'm freezing my ass off. And yes, the bed is unmade. My child is sleeping there. I don't have the heart to wake him up and say, get off, I need to make the bed. So I just let him sleep and live in this. And I am on page... I can't open this book. I am currently on page 222. Okay, 222. And... yeah, I have positive feelings about this book so far. Okay, I still have like around 200-ish pages left, which I'm a bit honestly intrigued. Not a bit, I'm really intrigued to see what the hell will happen now, because whatever has been revealed in the book, okay, is a big thing. Right? It's like, wow, okay, well, this would take a lot to try to make stuff better, right? Or you have to truly destroy a society and rebuild a new one, destroy some things that have been there for decades upon decades, and destroy it. And how do you do it with just two people? Okay. I'm scared. The author is M.L. Wong. Oof, if all of their books are like this, where you get characters that are human beings, like they feel like human beings, like these are believable human beings that are not perfect, that have flaws, like the character development, the redemption arcs, and all of those things are very believable. Like they're like, make sense. Like when you think about it, these things probably and hopefully happen even in real life, because you have people that go from having these awful beliefs, right, and they experience things, or they meet someone that teaches them, they themselves obviously are like, wow, fuck, I've been wrong my whole life, which is understandable. Ow, my arm. Which is understandable, because, you know, if someone grows up, let's say, grows up and they're like 30 and goes their whole entire lives being brought up with these views, beliefs, opinions and stuff, they will form their opinions and thoughts and whatever based on their environment around them, the people around them, the society. You know, and sometimes in life, you meet, you learn, you do research, and you realize that the beliefs, the view that you had about something, someone, a group of people, whatever it is, was indeed distorted. It was not the truth. It was maybe you were even brainwashed. The government like to do that. What? Who said that? Not to get political here, but to the people who say that books are not political, because some people are like, I mean, it depends on what type of book you're reading, okay? First of all. Second of all, I don't know what I wanted to say. Depends on what type of book you're reading, and sure, some books are very light. They don't really touch on political things or societal things that, you know, that actually, what am I saying? That actually reflect what's going on in our own real life societies. But for example, a book like this, it's very clear. Let me show you again. Oh, I'm afraid to hit myself. It's very clear. Girl, you're trying to fight me? What the hell? It's very clear that what the author was trying to do, what about themes and things the author wanted to also touch on, and it's clear, and I like that. It makes you think a little bit. There's moments where I was like, oh, reminds me very much of something that's going on in the world right now. or multiple things that we have seen before we're seeing right now in reality. Snap back to reality. Oh, the ghost gravity. And I'm just happy that books like these exist, and I'm having a really good time. And I also really like the magic system and the way that it was explained. And the way that it was explained was not a info dump, right? Because some fantasy books or books in general where there's some sort of magic system, some sort of system when it comes to how things work. Some books like to just kind of throw stuff at you, like, hey, like, and that's it for like 10 pages or 5, 10, however many pages. Like, hey, here you go. And like, where did this come from? Where's this coming from? Whoa, it doesn't really fit into the story, or it takes you out of the story, or it's just like, what? Like, you're like, what? Where did this come from? But in this case, I liked how it was presented and introduced to the reader, to you. And yeah. So far, what? I don't know what's going on. I'm having a mental breakdown. I don't know what's going on. So far, I'm not gonna say too much because I want to actually like sit down properly and talk to you guys about it once I finished it, to give you all my thoughts and stuff like that, so we can even discuss it in the comments, or if you have read it, if you want to read it, I don't know. I am genuinely curious to see how this is gonna end, because if it does have an impactful and good ending, whatever that will mean, it will mean, I'm not sure yet, then I can see myself giving it a very high rating, or it will have like a high rating in my mind. So I'm excited. Yeah. Oh, I want to talk about one thing. I noticed when I really like a book, I find myself reading it really slowly, like slower than other books that maybe I'm not that into, or they don't, grab my attention. I'm not that emotionally invested in, because I don't want it to end. I don't want the book to end. So then I'm just like, this is taking me 5 days already to read, and it has only 430 pages. Like, it's not like it's like it's a good girthy book, but it's not like I've read 700 pages books and I've read them in like, I don't know, 3 days sometimes, somehow. But I know that I could read this faster, I know, and I could read, but I'm just I don't want it to end. And that's one thing I do when I really like a book. I take much longer to finish it because I'm really savoring it as much as I can. And I think, to each their own, but in my opinion, that's the way to go. Like, if you really like something, if you really feel connected to a book and you're like, yup, like, I can tell this book is cooking for me, like they cooked this book for me, then I will take I shot myself. Then I will take extra time to go through it, because I don't want it to end. Anyways, I'm gonna go read now. Bye. I'm back. I just wanted to say something real quick. I look bald. Nice. Love that for me. One of the things I wanted to say, because I'm in a book club while I'm reading this on Fable, everything down below, subscribe, hit. Right. Anyways, so I'm in a book club, and there's from chapter to chapter, like each and every chapter, when you end it, there's a discussion, right? What we think, predictions, feelings. Why am I explaining this to you? Married life. I saw a couple of people comment this, which I understand the view, and I understand where this is coming from. I'm not that silly, but I personally don't resonate with it at all. And it's the fact that people are like, oh, Siona is so unlikable. Like, I find it so hard to like this book, or I'm finding it hard to, like her character because she's so unlikable and she's flawed. Like, someone says she's so unlikable, but I like that she's flawed like a real human being. And that's exactly my point. Like, I think when we read books, for me, so not what? When we read books, but I'm talking about me specifically. So when I read a book, what the joy in it is the flawed characters, to me personally. is the fact that I see a complex character and not the same type of character with the same or similar characteristics that every other book has thrown in there and then discarded and thrown and discarded and thrown all over again when it comes to like book after book after book, right? What I love about literature and books is that it's these complex characters, these flawed characters, these characters that, let's say, I would never do what she has done, let's say, or I don't have the same views that she has, okay? She has pretty questionable, for the first half of the book, even more, a bit more, she has some questionable views, okay? That someone who has done research, who maybe grew up in a family that has this type of views and values, the good ones, by that I mean let's not be racist and stuff like that and have prejudice against people, you know, I would never have a view like that because I grew up with views of everyone is a human being, no matter what race, time, being, skin color, where they're from, it doesn't matter. You're a human being, period. Okay? Just like me, just like you, just like anyone else. So I never had any, I never felt, I never thought, I never had any prejudice against anyone. Or anything. And so, you know, obviously reading, she's the opposite of me when it comes to these things, let's say. I don't read it and say, oh, I hate her as a character, and I don't like this book that much because of it, because I just can't connect to her. Obviously you can connect to her because you don't agree with her. You don't agree with a part of her. It's a pretty big part, meaning being racist, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Or being very prejudiced, having prejudice against like a group of people or whatever it is, right? But spoilers, she's having I don't know if this is a spoiler, she's having a redemption arc. Okay, people learn, and I also disagree with this notion, which on social media there's a lot of this, like lots of people are like this. If someone, let's say, grew up a certain way and they made mistakes in the past, or whether they were like, hopefully they were not aware of it and they just, you know, if you grew up with some things, I know it's hard for us to understand people who, let's say, have never had these views, but if someone grows up like that and their family yaps to them their whole life about it and they're in an environment where it's constantly that, and it's like brainwash. Honestly, it's brainwash. In a way, to me, it's brainwashing, okay? And it really takes a person something that will make it click here to want to learn, to want to grow, to want to evolve, to have a redemption arc as a human being when it comes to these very important views. So she's not really a likable character in the sense of what she stands for a lot of this book, and most part of this book. You're like, I was screaming at my pages being like, hello, wake up, Siona, please, mamma mia, please wake up. Like, I was screaming like, wake up, because she always had this tiny tinge, I don't know if it's called tinge, like hint in the back of her head, like a looming over her head, like, oh, this is not right, love. Like she had that feeling, right? But for some reason she kept pushing it off, because her whole reality and future and what she was doing in the moment, which she has been studying for ages, and she had to sacrifice a lot of things, but whatever, was based on those old views. So it's hard to let go of it for her, let's say, right? Or to fully admit that, yup, like, you know, all of these things basically, like, I was wrong this whole time. All of these things that I've built upon are wrong, or evil, or whatever, you know. Hopefully people are not going to see me and think, oh, you're trying to justify. Bitch, shut up. I'm just talking from like an actual, that's how it works. But the thing is, redemption arc for her, she wants to have a redemption arc. And she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm fucking dumb as shit. and that I've, you know, that this is the truth, that this is reality, and I will take this anger. Like, she, spoilers, she had suicidal thoughts because she was like, I can't live with myself. I can live with myself knowing that, you know, this is whatever. I'm not gonna go into it. But she's like, I'm gonna take this this poison, I guess, that I feel and that I've, you know, been fed, and use it for something good. And that's the redemption arc, and we love that for her. So now she wants to do actually something good with that, and she wants to change things. She stuff like that, whatever. I'm not gonna get in details into it because I don't want to spoil too much. Anyways, I went on like a tangent or whatever, but going back to what I was saying, going back to reality. Oh, the ghost gravity. For me, these books where there's these flawed characters, actually, it will make me like the book more, because these are real human beings. Like, they make them real to me. For me, them being flawed make them feel real. Okay, make them feel like, yup, like this is an actual human being somewhere out there, that they went through something like this, or they are like this, whatever it is. What did I say? I don't remember. And that, for me, it like enriches the book. It makes the book more colorful. Yes, I can speak. Nice. It makes the book more colorful, more alive, more vivid. Me when I throw any word that I know out there. And I appreciate that. And it makes me like the book more, makes me more interested in the book, makes me connect honestly with the characters, even though they're completely different from me, more. Because I'm like, okay, you feel like a real human being. You don't feel like this bland, characterless, moreless, opinionless pawn. Like, I don't know, like a, you know, just like a little statue being there, like the same things, bland things over and over again. And not too caca on anyone who likes this type of books where it's like, you know, very fairy tale-ish, you know, everyone good, everyone nice, and there's this evil guy, whatever. When I talk about myself, I'm never judging you. I'm never judging what you like. Like, you, anyone who likes anything, no matter what you like, I love that for you. No matter what type of book you like, I love that for you. And as long as you're happy, I'm happy. So I swear to God. Like, I swear to God. So when I say these things, it's not out of malice or of judgment or shaming anyone. No. I'm just talking about myself. That's how I feel. And that's what I like. Period. I'm actually very enjoying this. And I knew some of these things that are happening now. I'm like, I have like 120 pages left. I knew who the evil guy was. I had a feeling. I had a feeling about a couple of these things. Like, it's a bit predictable. Some parts are a bit predictable, but I don't think they're meant to be like plot twists or anything. But, you know, you could have gotten there by yourself. So like, you know, or maybe I'm just dumb. Who knows? Nice. Anyways, I can't wait to finish this. I just wanted to share that thought because, I don't know. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna read. Bye! No. No. But I still have one more chapter left. This is a lot to process. So, I just finished reading what the hell? I went through a couple of tissues. Right. My eyes hurt from crying. I'm tired. Man, this book took something. I can't. No, I can't. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. I got goosebumps. I don't know why. Anyways, interesting. I don't know what to think of it, in the sense of, like, I don't have the right words to describe how I feel or my thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts in my head right now that I need some time to process, to put them into coherent, understandable sentences. I think I would give it 4 or 4.5 stars if we want to rate it in the star system. I love the cover a lot more now because it makes sense. It really do be making sense. Man, I am very emotional, obviously. Wow. I found the ending obviously very bittersweet. In a way, freedom, right? In a big way. I think honestly the main characters were Thomel and Kara, and them instead of, let's say, Siona, and everyone else. And the injustice, the prejudice, the injustice, the horrific way the Quen, Sawmill and Karen, you know, were treated was the main focus. This book was very political and had lots of commentary, political and social commentary. A lot of the times when I was reading, I was like, reminds me of something, reminds me of something, reminds me of something, reminds me of this and that and this and that. A lot of things you can apply, obviously, to our own issues, and it made it even more emotional and impactful. And just thinking about it, for some reason, it's making me want to cry again. How, you know, a lot of things you can link with, apply to. If you will read it, you will probably be reminded of the things that are going on right now, has been going on in the past, and it's heartbreaking. This is not a love story at all. Like, really, why am I so emotional about this? Because I just finished it, you idiot. This is not a love story. This is not a romance at all. The romance is like, I don't know, 1%. Like, I don't know, 2%. Okay, sure. There's interest. These two main characters are, you know, there's interest, and we all know that they like it. They love each other. They like each other. There's interest, but there's just, it's impossible. The themes are too much focused on something completely different. Like, it was sweet and you were rooting for them. You really were rooting for them, but at the end of the day, even though you were rooting for them and you were hoping, you had the hope, you know, that somehow happily ever after, right? Like, we all want to, we all dream of it, we all wish for it, we all hope for it, whether it's in our personal lives in general and for other people in the world, or even while we read books or watch movies and TV shows, when there's a couple and there's something going on, or there's an injustice, there's injustices, and there's two people who come from completely different places, and they kind of meet, and there's a meeting point, and they meet and they understand each other, and blah blah blah. You root for them, you're rooting for them, right? But at the end of the day, that's not the main focus, and you know that. Like, even though you're rooting for them, you know that, like, most likely it's just not gonna go down the way that you want it to go down. It's not gonna happen, because there's a greater evil literally looming over both of these characters. And That's the important part. And why did I make that sound? It wasn't like that. And reading chapter 22, I think it is, you know, the last part where Siona, I don't know, it's making me cry. Where Siona's last thoughts. What the hell? When she's like, you know, as it's written in the book, like spiraling or as into hell or something like that. Her last thoughts makes me cry. And it makes me in a way hopeful. Like, I feel like this book, a lot of it, it's about hope and doing your part, doing what you can. And it's so nice seeing, like, she was a very imperfect character, very flawed, you know, had her own flaws, imperfections. She felt like a real character, like a real person. I mean, she felt like a real person that, you know, had a development, experienced growth, a huge growth, redemption arc, character development, and she stood by it, and she stood by it until the end, and she sacrificed her own life for it because she knew that that was the right thing to do. And sometimes, a lot of times, the right things to do are not the easiest things to do at all. Trust me, at all, far from easy. And she did what she had to do. And her last thoughts were heartbreaking. Actually, I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna make everyone cry. I'm back. Nice. So when she says, with her soul in the spiral on its way to hell, Siona's last thought was not of vengeance or legacy. It was of love. Nice. I mean, this whole last paragraph that I highlighted, it was beautiful. But that last sentence specifically really broke my heart. You know, when you're in the book, when you're reading and all the things that were said prior to that, you really get sucked into the book, and reading that, it feels like you're actually in that character's head and they're with them in their mind in their last moments of death. Not of death, but the last moment of being alive. It's just such a perfect, I don't know, to me it was a perfect way to end it on that when it comes to her character. I think it was just so great, and it had a great emotional impact in my opinion. And you just knew, like, I towards the end of the book, I wasn't thinking to myself, oh, I hope, or I'm sure there's gonna be something that will happen that will, you know, save them all. Siona and Thormel and everyone, right? Thormel. I knew, I was like, hey, no way, she's gonna die. Like, I was like, she's gonna die. Like, that's just her that's what she wants. That's her destiny. That's her goal. Her goal is to make a stance. Her goal is to end something, to create a new beginning, right? For others, for the greater good. And I love that sentence because she's not doing things out of being this, you know, oh, my legacy, I want to be the one to show, you know, and it doesn't come from vengeance or, I don't know, pettiness, vengeance, revenge. I don't know if that's the same thing. Or, you know, or, you know, wanting to have a legacy, or I'm doing this for my legacy, or out of her own wants, like, for, you know, success or legacy, or to be talked about in the future, like how amazing she was. No, her last thoughts were simply, and it's the most simple, human, purest thing you can think of in your last moment, or that we have in general as human beings, is love. And the people that we love, and the love that we feel for these people. And that's what she thought of in her last moments, and because she did it for them at the end of the day. That hurts so that I can't get past that. That's the part that hurt me the most. Tomil, Inkara, and the clan, or you know, the other clans together, like finally running home, running back home, running home, and with hope, you know. I don't know. Obviously, you feel so much happiness. No, yes, happiness, but you feel a relief. You feel like a relief of they made it, and this was for something. This meant something. This was not just for nothing. And they made it, and they're gonna go home to their homes. This was just how things were meant to be, and freedom at last. And it's so satisfying to see, but also, and to read, obviously, but also bittersweet in a way, obviously, because of what happened and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I just have this bittersweet feeling in my chest. Anyways, everyone in the fucking world was a fucking menace. Lord have mercy, I hated everyone. Every character, every man in this book pissed me off. Pissed me off. Oh. No, I don't want to ruin my night. It's 1 a.m. I want to go sleep. But every other man, no, every single man in the book apart from Thomil, pissed me off. And I was so glad that they all vanished. I don't care. I'm actually excited. I'm throwing a party. Okay? Oh Lord, I actually despise them. Oh, all of them. I just despise them. Insufferable. All of these characters, apart from the main ones, were insufferable. Meaning the men. So I'm glad that's over. But yeah, I don't know, I just need some time to think about it. But I think these are like my main last thoughts. The writing was really nice. I don't know, I can't go too deep into it. I can't think. My brain is fried. I'm going to cry some more, probably, knowing myself. I'm gonna like think of a random moment in the book and then I'm gonna start crying. And then I'm gonna sleep because it's late and I need some sleep. So nice. Good times.